Hi, everybody. Hopefully we won't have the buffering problem again. I don't know what causes that when that happens. I have no idea. But you know what? I'm going to take a second to dig my pipe out from behind the... While I was throwing the cat treats around earlier, I knocked my tobacco pipe behind the desk I'm sitting at. And I was like, now I really want it. Now that I can't reach it. But I didn't realize it had actually fallen out onto the floor. I thought I was going to have to move the desk. Thanks for being back here. I was really, I was just going to finish reading this chapter. Of course, obviously, I've been reading for a little bit more than an hour, but now that we're here again, I'm going to put some more tobacco in the pipe. Take a deep breath. I have talked in these reading streams before about how it's I have the stamina for hanging out and talking with the chat. Hey, Gandalf. For days and days. It did take me a while to work up to where I can just go in a live stream for 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes. But I don't talk the whole time. And I sure am not doing this projecting actor voice. And so when I read, I don't want to back off the stentorious, pretentious reading voice. It's fun. But after about an hour 10, I get out of breath. And then at about an hour 25, I hit this weird, so it's not second wind. It's like I'm entirely winded, but I'm over oxygenating or hyper oxygenating, and I feel sort of lightheaded. And it's like the breathing equivalent of being pleasantly tired from a jog or a workout. Anyway, I'm going to smoke some tobacco. Welcome back. We're going to finish reading the first chapter. Oh, you know what? I might. It's long, huh? This first chapter, Gandalf. You'd know. This goes on for a while. Right? This goes an unexpected journey. Oh no, because I always get Frodo leaving with Bilbo leaving confused. Thanks for being back, guys. This is so much fun. I love this book so much. I'm going to take a hit off this other pipe. That's the good stuff. Where was I? Oh, and I wanted to give it a second to F up again, but it's not. Cool. I suppose I should try to pick up right where I left off, because I'm assuming most of you will be coming straight in here from there. Right. Obstinate silence. They all feared that a song or some poetry was now imminent, and they were getting bored. Talking and let them drink his health. But Bilbo did not sing or recite. He paused for a moment. Thirdly and finally, he said, I wish to make an announcement. He spoke this last word so loudly and suddenly that everyone sat up who still could. I regret to announce that, though, as I said, 11 years is far too short a time to spend among you, this is the end. I am going. I am leaving now. Goodbye. He stepped down and vanished. There was a blinding flash of light, and the guests... When they opened their eyes, Bilbo was nowhere to be seen. 144 flabbergasted hobbits sat back speechless. Old Odo Proudfoot removed his feet from the table and stamped. Then there was a dead silence until suddenly, after several deep breaths, every Baggins, Boffin, Took, Brandybuck, Grubb, Chubb, Burrows, Balger, Bracegirdle, Brockhouse, Goodbody, Hornblower, and Proudfoot began to talk at once. It was generally agreed that the joke was in very bad taste, and more food and drink were needed to cure the guests of shock and annoyance. He's mad. I always said so, was probably the most popular comment. Even the Toops, with a few exceptions, thought Bilbo's behavior was absurd. For the moment, most of them took it for granted that his disappearance was nothing more than a ridiculous prank. But old Rory Brandybuck was not so sure. Neither age nor an enormous dinner had clouded his wits, and he said to his daughter-in-law, Esmeralda, "There's something fishy in this, my dear. I believe that mad Baggins is off again. Silly old fool, but why worry? He hasn't taken the victuals with him." He called loudly to Frodo to send the wine round again. Frodo was the only one present who had said nothing. For some time he had sat silent beside Bilbo's empty chair and ignored all remarks and questions. He had enjoyed the joke, of course, even though he had been in the know, from laughter at the indignant surprise of the guests. But at the same time he felt deeply troubled. He realized suddenly that he loved the old hobbit dearly. But at the same time he felt deeply troubled. He realized suddenly that he loved the old hobbit dearly. Most of the guests went on eating and drinking and discussing Bilbo Baggins' oddities, past and present, but the Sackville Bagginses had already departed in wrath. Frodo did not want to have any more to do with the party. He gave orders for more wine to be served, then he got up and drained his own glass silently to the health of Bilbo, and slipped out of the pavilion. Good night, Gandalf. Thanks for being here. Yeah, this being the second stream, and sort of accidentally because of the interruption with the buffering, I'm probably not going to read that much longer, but a little bit, of course. As for Bilbo Baggins, even while he was making his speech, he had been fingering the golden ring in his pocket, his magic ring that he had kept secret for so many years. As he stepped down, he slipped it on his finger, and he was never seen by any hobbit in Hobbiton again. He walked briskly back to his hole, and stood for a moment listening with a smile to the din in the pavilion, and to the sounds of merrymaking in other parts of the field. Then he went in. He took off his party clothes, folded up and wrapped in tissue paper his embroidered silk waistcoat, and put it away. Then he put on quickly some old untidy garments, and fastened round his waist a worn leather belt. On it he hung a short sword in a battered black leather scabbard. From a locked drawer smelling of mothballs, he took out an old cloak and hood. They had been locked up as if they were very precious, but they were so patched and weather-stained that their original color could hardly be guessed. It might have been dark green. They were rather too large for him. He then went into his study, and from a I gotta point out, back in the 90s, I used to sing for a band. The jeans that I wore at every show, they're right here. And if we do a reunion show, I will have them to wear. Bilbo's doing the same thing. He's still got his traveling shoes. He then went into his study, and from a large strong box took out a bundle wrapped in old cloths and a leather-bound manuscript, and also a large bulky envelope. The book and bundle he stuffed into the top of a heavy bag that was standing there, already nearly full. Into the envelope he slipped his golden ring and its fine chain, and then sealed it and addressed it to Frodo. At first he put it on the mantelpiece, but suddenly he removed it and stuck it in his pocket. At that moment the door opened, and Gandalf came quickly in. "Hello," said Bilbo. "I wondered if you would turn up." "I am glad to find you visible," replied the wizard, sitting down in a chair. "I wanted to catch you and have a few final words. I suppose you feel that everything has gone off splendidly and according to plan?" "Yes, I do," said Bilbo, "though that flash was surprising. It quite startled me, let alone the others. A little addition of your own, I suppose?" "It was. You have wisely kept that ring secret all these years, and it seemed to me necessary to give your guests something else that would seem to explain your sudden vanishment." "And would spoil my joke. You are an interfering old busybody," laughed Bilbo, "but I expect you know best, as usual." "I do, when I know anything. But I don't feel too sure about this whole affair. It has now come to the final point. You have had your joke, and alarmed or offended most of your relations, and given the whole Shire something to talk about for 9 days, or 99, more likely. Are you going any further?" "Yes, I am. I feel I need a holiday, a very long holiday, as I have told you before. Probably a permanent holiday. I don't expect I shall return. In fact, I don't mean to, and I have made all arrangements. I am old, Gandalf. I don't look it, but I am beginning to feel it in my heart of hearts. Well preserved indeed, he snorted. Why, I feel all thin, sort of stretched, if you know what I mean, like butter that has been scraped over too much bread. That can't be right. I need a change or something. Gandalf looked curiously and closely at him. No, it does not seem right, he said thoughtfully. No, after all, I believe your plan is probably the best. I want to see mountains again, Gandalf. Mountains. And then find somewhere where I can rest. In peace and quiet, without a lot of relatives prying around, and a string of confounded visitors hanging on the bell. I might find somewhere where I can finish my book. I have thought of a nice ending for it. And he lived happily ever after to the end of his days. Gandalf laughed. I hope he will, but nobody will read the book, however it ends. Oh, they may, in years to come. Frodo has read some already, as far as it has gone. You'll keep an eye on Frodo, won't you? Yes, I will. 2 eyes, as often as I can spare them. He would come with me, of course, if I asked him. In fact, he offered to once, just before the party. But he does not really want to, yet. I want to see the wild country again before I die, and the mountains. But he is still in love with the Shire, with woods and fields and little rivers. Oh, and little rivers, as opposed to the Anduin. He ought to be comfortable here. I am leaving everything to him, of course, except a few oddments. I hope he will be happy when he gets used to being on his own. It's time he was his own master now. Everything, said Gandalf. The ring as well. You agreed to that, you remember. Well, yes, I suppose, stammered Bilbo. Where is it? In an envelope, if you must know, said Bilbo impatiently. There on the mantelpiece. Well, no. Here it is in my pocket. He hesitated. Isn't that odd now? He said softly to himself. Yet, after all, why not? Why shouldn't it stay there? Gandalf looked again very hard at Bilbo, and there was a gleam in his eyes. I think, Bilbo, he said quietly, I should leave it behind. Don't you want to? Well, yes, and no. Now it comes to it, I don't like parting with it at all, I may say, and I don't really see why I should. Why do you want me to? He asked, and a curious change came over his voice. It was sharp with suspicion and annoyance. You are always badgering me about my ring, but you've never bothered me about the other things that I got on my journey. No, but I had to badger you, said Gandalf. I wanted the truth. It was important. Magic rings are, well, magical, and they are rare and curious. I was professionally interested in your ring, you may say, and I still am. I should like to know where it is if you go wandering again. Also, I think you have had it quite long enough. You won't need it any more, Bilbo, unless I am quite mistaken. Bilbo flushed, and there was an angry light in his eyes. His kindly face grew hard. You all right there, Pie Wacket? Pie, don't do it. His kindly face grew hard. Why not? He cried. And what business is it of yours, anyway, to know what I do with my own? It is my own. I found it. It came to me. Yes, yes, said Gandalf, but there is no need to get angry. Pyewacket, you can't climb up there, buddy. You have to get down. You know better. Get down. Don't do that. What is that? What are you doing? What are you yelling about? You just want attention? I'll be done reading soon, buddy. If you've never met her, this is my cat Pyewacket, making trouble. I gave you guys all the treats already. You're just gonna have to wait until I'm done reading. And then we'll hang out. I don't know what this is about, but buffered a little. Is it working now, Gandalf? Maybe. Hold on a second. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and stop this one then. and just leave it dangling as the end of the party scene. And tomorrow, when I start reading again, I'll pick up at the beginning of this bit. It's a better place to stop anyway, at the beginning of this little section about Bilbo leaving the ring behind for Frodo. Yeah, yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm trying to aim for the same time every night. It's like I'm organically chasing just a vague, nebulous but perfect start time. If I try to schedule accurately for a specific time, it doesn't work. If I just sort of chase the vibe, it seems to work much better. Like I don't mean just for like me. I mean like for like people coming in, and like if I just let the energy and the vibe lead me to a specific time, specific start time. Yeah, I'm high. All right, I'm high. Yes. Are you high, Rogan? Yes. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. I'll pick up, like I said at the beginning of the bit I was just reading tomorrow. Liz, it's not Liz, it's Quintily. Hey, Diane. Oh, that's so cool about the jeans. Yeah. Yeah. They're the only thing I've saved. When I crawled away from where I lived in Florida and I lost everything, I had a weird children's bicycle I was propping my one bag on that I just used to get far away enough to keep the cats from trying to follow me. But those jeans are the only thing I managed to keep from what was in that bag when I left that day. They're the only thing that there's physical continuity with. Oh, and the computer, the hard drive that I need recovering. All right, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks a lot.